It's the biggest wake-up call to Europe.
Europe has a poverty problem.
The French government collapses, plunging EU's second largest economy into turmoil.
1 in 5 Germans now face the risk of imminent poverty.
Is Europe up to that wake-up call?
It better be.
How do you get over the sovereignty question, which can also be, in my words, not yours, the ego question?
27 countries,
Right.
all of them producing red lines. So what Europe now needs to do is take the time, wipe out the red lines and concentrate on its performance as one economic union.
I want you to take those problems and relate them to the Gulf.
Don't copy the European institutions, they're too complex. But copy one thing from Europe that I find incredibly impactful.
When we met here this time last year, the US administration had just, or was about to, had taken office, and we didn't really know. We had an idea from executive orders. 1 year on, we have to some extent been told that the world is flat, that all the things that people like yourself have believed in terms of trade policy and that foreign policy are different. Am I right, or am I overstating?
Great to see you, and wonderful to be with this audience. What we see is a world that is more diverse, more multipolar, and more resilient as a result.
So what is happening at the moment is the biggest, whether it's Greenland or the trade or tariffs, whatever, it's the biggest wake-up call to Europe. Is Europe up to that wake-up call?
It better be. We see in Europe tremendous potential to lift up competitiveness, productivity, and growth. Why is it not happening? Well, 27 countries, it is hard for them to reach an agreement, and Europe really cherishes consensus building. 27 countries,
Right.
all of them producing red lines. So what Europe now needs to do is take the time, wipe out the red lines and concentrate on its performance as one economic union. And that would be good for everybody. People want to do business in
Right.
Europe, but it's too complicated.
I want you to take those problems and relate them to the Gulf, because the GCC has played around with many of the same concepts and single currencies right the way through to free markets, labor, but it's unwilling to go the next steps.
Don't copy the European institutions, they're too complex. But copy one thing from Europe that I find incredibly impactful: Airbus. When Europe came up with Airbus, it did something fabulous. It created a very potent competitor to Boeing. Now, every second aircraft on this planet comes from Europe. So, for the Gulf, get your Airbus.
Oh, hang on. What does that mean in reality?
Well,
Because-
it could be a joint project in artificial intelligence. The Gulf is well advanced in that area. I don't know what it would be. What I do know is that it makes a huge difference in how you integrate your economy when you have that common project.
How do you get over the sovereignty question, which can also be, in my words, not yours, the ego question? Because Europe is now having to come with AI that you can't have 27 champions. You're going to have to decide who's going to be the European competitors to the MAG 7 of the United States.
It is very difficult. I am not going to sugarcoat it. When you talk about capital markets in the Gulf, obviously there is competition, and rightly so, because there is strength in capital markets that have emerged. But if you want to compete in the world we are today and we will be tomorrow, You have to overcome differences, and you have to come up with that sense of unity, of purpose. And I think the Gulf has demonstrated capacity to do so. What I now see in discussions with ministers of finance, with central bank governors in the Gulf, is maturity that for sure can help the Gulf to go in that direction of strength through unity of purpose. And yes, competition, because that is human nature, and competition is not a bad thing. It makes us do better than we would have otherwise.